say we, my mom and I are kind of like deer in the headlights. What's next? What can I encounter next? What else is gonna happen to my body?
Let's not make it complicated.
Hi. So, really quick health update. Monday, 2 days later, I had surgery. So today's Wednesday. Yeah, I had surgery. The surgery has absolutely nothing to do with multiple sclerosis. Nothing to do with my diagnosis. Nothing. Okay. For some reason, you'll see I still haven't taken off my hospital bands. I don't know why. Just hadn't. I don't know. But Monday I had surgery. If you remember maybe from my previous video, I talked about how that first week in October, I had like a doctor's appointment every single day. 2 of those appointments were for this surgery. So, one thing, maybe 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I went to my gynecologist and said, I think I have fibroids. All of my aunts and my mom, except for maybe one aunt, has had hysterectomies due to fibroids. So I know what the signs of a fibroid are. So I went in and I said, I think I have fibroids. I don't know if I talked about it, but I switched all my doctors from Jonesboro to Little Rock a long time ago because they all sucked. I remember them saying something like, well, you probably do. You want to check? You want to do some check? Oh, yeah, we can check and make sure. So anyway, they checked. I had fibroids as I suspected, and they basically told me there's nothing they can do if I wanted to have children. They can give me a hysterectomy or I can deal with them. So I switched all my doctors to Little Rock. And when I went to my new gynecologist, I let them know, I have fibroids, but I had already researched. I knew there were some options for getting rid of them, and we could talk about it more when I was ready, because I knew I wasn't ready for those options just yet. So last year, I started talking to my gynecologist about it more, and I was like, I think I'm ready to go through with this. So we had the appointment, and she's like, okay, I'm going to schedule you for another ultrasound, the little vaginal ultrasound. I'm going to go ahead and schedule you for another ultrasound to check them out and see if they've grown anymore, if you've gotten any more, and see what we're looking at to see what type of surgery you're a candidate for. So, between me leaving that office and the appointment that she made for me that same day to go get my fibroids checked, I found out that my stepfather had passed away. So, I went through with the, I was out of it. I went through with the appointment for my ultrasound, and she basically said, yeah, you're a candidate for laparoscopic myomectomy, which is where they go in and remove the, through, cameras and tools. They go through and they remove the fibroids, but they don't have to cut you open like C-section style or anything like that. It's just small incisions made into your abdomen. So, she said that she herself doesn't do laparoscopic surgeries, but she recommended me to someone who turned out to be like this excellent fertility specialist. And he was thorough also. I like thorough doctors. He was thorough also. So over maybe the course of 2 or 3 weeks, he scheduled, he performed another vaginal ultrasounds. Now I've had 3, because that's how they found them when I was in Jonesboro, and an MRI of my uterus. He also had that done as well. I loved him as a doctor, but his staff was lacking. We'll just say that. And I told my doctor I can't deal with his staff. Like, it's not gonna work. So I found another gynecologist who performed laparoscopic myomectomies. And I scheduled the appointment, but I just didn't feel like it was a time like I just had so much going on. I was in the middle of trying to move to the Bahamas. And then I was also dealing with, the recent loss of my stepfather. And I was just like, I don't think this is the right time, God. I don't think I should be. So I prayed on it. And I think I canceled 2 or 3 appointments with this newest gynecologist. And I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So, been praying on it for about a year. And I was like, okay, I think, been talking to God. This now is the time. It's time for me to start this. So that's basically what we're doing, gearing up for this surgery Monday. So last Monday, they diagnosed me with they confirmed a multiple sclerosis diagnosis. But I asked them about the surgery, and they said, you don't have to cancel your surgery. There's no reason for you to cancel. You can go ahead and have that. So this surgery was pre-planned. I kind of remember when I came out, I heard the nurses and my mom, maybe the nurses were talking outside of the room. I was kind of in and out still. I hadn't really woken up from the anesthesia. And I remember going, Mom, what are they talking about? And she was like, oh, we'll talk about it when we get home. And I was like, what? What's going on? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So finally we get home, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And she goes, well, forgot to mention, I went from 3 fibroids last year to 6 fibroids when I got the most recent vaginal MRI, or vaginal ultrasound from my gynecologist. And she goes, well, they're only able to remove 1 of your fibroids. Like, what? Are you serious? What? And I said, what's going on? She said that he got in there laparoscopically and said, I'm not going to say it's a severe case because I don't know that, but he just said, I have a bad case of endometriosis, and which is why I kept mentioning these vaginal ultrasounds and MRIs, because is that not how you detect endometriosis? Other than laparoscopically and seeing it? So I have a bad case of endometriosis. I've evidently been dealing with it, from what he said. I have evidently been dealing with it for years, and he doesn't know how I have been dealing with the pain that this had to have come with this. But the pain was what I understand. I do have horrible monthly, and I have been dealing with it because, from my understanding, this is fibroid pain. This isn't anything unusual for a fibroid patient. So now I have to go and have endometriosis treatment, and then get the rest of my fibroids removed. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. We're just, at this point, kind of, I say we, my mom and I, are kind of like deer in the headlights. What's next? What can I encounter next? What else is going to happen to my body? We're waiting to see. But this is what's going on in Chi-Chi's world. God bless. Have a good day.